All right, greetings. Welcome back to Blackbird News, where everything is connected. Hope you all enjoyed that extra bit of theme music. I was out getting some tacos with Jim Rockford, and they were delicious. What's up? Lots of people here. Gang's all here. That's very funny. Um, what's very funny, you ask? When I started the show, I had 31 viewers, and it dropped to 15. So, static? Okay. All right, we should be back. Sorry about that. Was everything that I said in the beginning just complete static? I'm sorry. Better. All right. Um. Anyways, yeah, I was out having some tacos with Jim Rockford for breakfast. You know how we do. Just got back. It was cool. Timothy Martin says FDA just approved a new coating for all foods that extends shelf life. Isn't it? Didn't they already do that? Appeal. Oh, you heard me. Um, didn't they already do that? I feel like that's uh, old news. Appeal, but yes, they did approve appeal. Old, but no doubt relevant. Did you know that a lot of foods um, have coating on them already, like before the appeal thing? Foods that come from long distances, like Chile or Argentina or what, they ship foods. Uh, when they ship foods long distances, they coat them with there's a coat they coat food already, fruits and vegetables, with a preservative coating that is fossil fuel based mostly, or an oil based coating. Anyways, greetings to you guys. I don't know why that's so weird, because you heard words clearly and beginning above the static. Okay, cool. Anyways, good to see y'all. Thanks for hanging out. We're live on Colin, Rockfin, YouTube, and on Twitter. Excuse me. Uh, got some peppers. Bleeding sawtooth super hot pepper. My God. Sounds delicious. But yeah, a lot of foods are coated with the appeal, or they're starting to coat the foods with appeal. So beware. I'm just tripping out. When I started the show, I had 30 viewers, and it dropped immediately to 15. No shenanigans there. I don't know how many viewers I have. I honestly don't know. I could have 80 viewers or 100 viewers. I wouldn't, they'll still tell me that I have 15 viewers. Uh, it's so frustrating, right? And it makes people think the reason why they do that. So that you come to the show and, oh, there's only like, 15 viewers. I wouldn't, they'll still tell me that I have 15 viewers. It's so frustrating. Right? And it makes people think the reason why they do that. So that you come to the show and, oh, there's only like, 15 viewers. I wouldn't, they'll still tell me that I have 15 viewers. It's so frustrating. Right? And it makes people think the reason why they do that, so that you come to the show and, oh, there's only like, a couple people hanging out. Boo. Right? It's very, very effective. They make it seem like nobody's watching my videos, nobody's on the live stream, to make it seem like, oh, there's not really anybody here. There's not much going on. By the way, um, uh, my fundraiser for the music thing is still going. I had a contribution over the weekend from someone who I think watches the show, but there's no way for me to get. It was through Cash App, and there's no way for me to get your email. Juliet Nickel, I think, is somebody that watches the show. So I don't really know how else to contact her because she donated through Cash App, and there's no way for me to like message her or anything like that. So Juliet Nickel, if I'm sorry it took me so long to think about doing this, but it was like 4 days ago. You contributed to the show. If you watch this video, I'll probably give this shout out again tomorrow just in case you miss it. But Juliet Nickel, if you watch the show, please email me at blackbearnews@gmail.com. Please give me your email or contact me in some way so that I know how to, um, just keep in contact with you and respond to you. And anybody who does contribute to the show, please, if you could, if there's no email, if there's no way for me to contact you, it's a little difficult. So, um, you know, if you feel like I haven't gotten it or something like that, just give me an email. You can email me at blackbearnews@gmail.com or kevinsamblum@gmail.com, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, here is the link for the fundraiser. I'm putting that in YouTube, even though YouTube will probably not allow you to use it as a link. And Rockfin too. And I'll drop it on Twitter too. Why not? Why not? We have, I think, some people watching on Twitter. Twitter does the same thing to me though. Makes it seem like nobody's watching the video when I know that people are watching it. When has YouTube blocked links? They just do it just to be rude. Not block the link, but you can put the link in, but you can't. It doesn't show up as a link in the chats, which you can do in Rockfin, right? You drop a link in Rockfin, and you can use it like a link, which is really helpful. See, there's a way in which Rockfin works better than YouTube, right? And I don't think that YouTube comments get. I mean, Rockfin comments don't get blocked either, right? In YouTube, if you say certain things, they will block your comment. So there's also that. But how are y'all doing? News story out of Trinidad, Tobago. There's an oil spill from a mystery vessel. Of course. Oh, the link is clickable here? Oh, okay. Well, then, good. Sorry. Poppy, stop telling me how rude I can be on Twitter, okay? I'm not rude on Twitter. I have been rude in the past on Twitter, but I'm not always. Just, you don't need to tell me that, okay? It's a little annoying. Sorry if that was rude. I'm not rude on Twitter. I just talk to people on Twitter. You're kind of like, you're kind of dousing the motivation for people to go to Twitter when you say stuff like that. I'm trying to get people to follow me on Twitter. So don't tell people, well, you're just mean on Twitter. Don't watch him on Twitter because he's just mean. Why would you say that? It's a little annoying. Whatever. Let's see. Trinidad, Tobago. Yeah, I'm not. I have emotions like everybody else. And sometimes I can get a little bit angry, but everybody's angry on Twitter. I see people be mean and angry on Twitter all the time. I see people be mean and angry but mostly I just talk to people. Mostly I just talk to people. It's all good. It's all good, Poppy. It's all love. I appreciate you. Never apologize. Tim Bob, solid advice. Never apologize. No, apologizing actually is a sign of of a of higher emotional intelligence, right? Um, and I often am wrong, and I often am lame, and I do stupid things. So I apologize all the time because I'm human. Are we all human? Admitting failure can look weak. No, hell no. I mean, I get it. I get where you're coming from, Tim Bob. You're coming from the Machiavellian playbook of deny, deflect, and keep going, keep swimming like a shark, right? Yeah, no, it's a strength. Admitting failure is a strength. Knowing your limits is a strength. Being compassionate and open is a strength. Being open to new ideas is a strength. It's all right, but it does work on the human level, right? It does work. That it does. There's something about people, you know, people respond to. That's the reason why narcissists actually go far in life. The reason why narcissists actually run the world is because for some reason people respond to just bluster and hubris, and it's why Trump is Trump, right? It's why Trump can literally say anything and people will go, all right, Trump. Anyways, um, I don't play by those rules. I don't. I don't play, and I just don't play. Period. Narcissism is called personality. Yeah, sure, sure. Give me a moment. Um. Anyways, there was an oil spill in Trinidad, Tobago. Trinidad, Tobago. And what's going on with this oil spill? It's a national emergency, is what it is. The Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago has said that the large oil spill near the twin island nation has caused a national emergency and vowed that the government will spare no expense to help rehabilitate the island's beaches. Oil from the spill has coated numerous beaches on Tobago's southwest coast, and the government has yet to identify the owner of the vessel that was overturned off the coast last week. Whoopsie. Oh, no. Oh, darn. Another day, another oil spill. Prime Minister said it is not immediately clear how much oil is spilled, how much remained in the largely submerged vessel. They're not clear how it overturned. They don't know who owns it. They don't know where. They don't know anything about it. But what we do know, is that it appears to be broken and is leaking some kind of hydrocarbon that is fouling the water and the coastline. The vessel could have come to us from any kind of operation, especially if the operation is illicit. The Prime Minister said the costs of the cleanup were likely to be high. Yeah. Cleaning and restoration can only seriously begin after we've brought the situation under control. Thanks. Thanks, random vessel filled with hydrocarbons. So awesome. You know, you know how we do. Lowy Appets, take everything, give nothing back. Captain Blackbeard. All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess, live life like a pirate and all that. Delene Parole says a man with no enemies has no character. Oh. And Tim Bomb said, isn't narcissism called a personality? All right. Rich Diana, a man has to know his limitations. Dirty Harry. There you go. I'm riding with Dirty Harry. And Jim Rockford. Pow. We're gonna go get tacos. Dirty Harry, Jim Rockford, and I were hanging out at the taco stand. You know how we do. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Oh yeah. Well, good God Almighty. Good golly, Miss Molly. That's what I just walk around saying stuff like that. All right, good quote. I could just be reading comments all day because good comments. You guys want to talk about some other news? The news of the world and stuff. Let's see. Let's listen to Ian Carroll talk about the January inflation numbers. And he's good. I like this guy. He does a lot of good work. If you don't follow him on Twitter, I suggest. He said the January inflation report is hilarious. Everything's fine. Banks aren't going to collapse. The economy is great. Soft landing incoming. So here you go.
Turns out I was wrong. The economy is not going to crash, and banks aren't going to fail. We're actually going to have a soft landing in 2024. So I know I made all these videos fear mongering that the economy was screwed and banks were going to collapse, but we have data now. The inflation data just came out for January, and it really clearly shows that everything is fine. See, overall inflation is only 3.1% now. It's way down. And then they break down all the different components of inflation so that you know why it's 3.1%. And they certainly have omitted certain parts. These are just certain highlights, like how juice and non carbonated drinks are up 30%. Steak is up 10%. Baby food up 8.7%. Sugar up 7%. They say that food is only at 2.6% inflation. None of these are anywhere near 2.6%. Same with food away from home. I'm no mathematician, but. And then we scroll down. Motor vehicle insurance, 20%. Household repair, 20%. Admission to sporting events, 13%. Tax return preparation, 11%. Well, none of these components are even below 4%. They're almost all above 5%. What the fuck? Yet somehow all of this adds up. Along with all of this, that averages out to 3.1%. Just so you know. I know. The biggest part of the CPI, because they weight it differently, so certain things are more important. Like people pay a lot for housing, so housing is weighted really heavily when they calculate the consumer price index, which is funny because in that same article, shelter inflation is up 6% in the last 12 months. And that is the most heavily weighted metric of the CPI. So they're cooking the books, and inflation is still up at 3.1%. It's definitely way above that. But what I think is the best chart of all time. So, you know, all these news articles like the New York Times reporting on how the soft landing is just so cushy in America. Don't you feel like your life is really cushy right now? That was published just a week or two ago. Everyone's reporting about the soft landing right now and about how great the economy is going to be. But Bloomberg did a study where they actually added up the total number of news articles mentioning soft landings across all publications. And that is a reverse indicator for recessions and depressions. So, right before the dot-com bubble, mentions of soft landings in news articles
Right.
spiked. Right before 2008, mentions of soft landings in news articles spiked.
Mm.
And this is where we are at now with mentions of soft landings.
You ever
So,
heard? There's a theory in the stock market that like you kind of just get you go out and you get everybody's advice on what's going to happen, and then you do the opposite. And this is kind of like that.
yeah, economy's not doing too hot. And these bank failures I was keeping tabs on, yeah, New York Community Bank is still floundering. They have not recovered. The regional banks ETF, which is like an average of all the regional banks, it's also not doing too hot. China's property market is collapsing. The reverse overnight repo market is collapsing. There's so many things going on. Oh, yeah. Did we mention that the bailouts that they did last year for all the failing regional banks, those were 1 year bailouts. They all expire this March. So I am certainly no expert, and this is not financial advice, but if your money is in a regional bank, you might consider a credit union instead. And based on history, the biggest banks will probably come out of this just fine for very legitimate reasons. But if you bank with a giant bank, you might consider a credit union just because fuck those guys. Just saying.
All right. Good stuff by Ian. Um, this is a ridiculous piece of news. Tra- uh, Travis Kelsey, football player, what's her face's boyfriend, is making a movie with green tax credits. What does that even mean? So this is like, this is carbon tax, your carbon taxes at work. Because they're being financed by this movie is being I mean, who cares about this guy, but like some people care about him. I don't care. He's making a movie, which, good for him. But one of the producers of the movie, I guess, hold on, is they're using money generated by green energy entrepreneur Mike Field's sale of surplus tax credits. Field is also a producer on the film. Hollywood is risky, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, Hollywood, it is a 9.5, especially in terms of independent films, says the producer Ray Maiello, who runs California-based Radiant Media Studios with Field and the former head of business affairs at Netflix. These federal tax credits take the risk down to like 5. Yes, he is also being paid by Pfizer, right? This guy is really connected. You know what I'm saying? He is super duper connected. This Travis Kelsey and his girlfriend, or he's her boyfriend, or whatever. It's a wild story, but the interesting part of it is the whole green energy tax credit part. Is what the heck, Hold on, Phantomas, I got you. I'm going to take your call in a second, okay? Um, it, you know, um, this is why people have a hard time with carbon taxes and tax credits, and green energy, uh, financial shenanigans, because this is the kind of stuff that's going to be funded, right? These are the kind of things that are going to get. It's funding, basically earth killing. I'm telling you, and I'm sorry, if you're an artist, but Hollywood is a earth killing machine. We all love art and we all love to watch movies and we all, but I'm telling you right now, there's nothing green about Hollywood. Is one of the most. Hollywood is like a cruise ship. Every movie is like a cruise ship. It's just extremely wasteful, extremely resource intensive. Um, Hollywood is terrible, and I mean, hey, so is so are so are traveling, mega famous Taylor Swift, level artists are, also not green, not good for the planet, right? Sorry to say, but those endeavors, putting on huge shows and traveling all over the world, and lugging all kinds of equipment around and building sets, and, like, I mean, all of that is extremely resource intensive. I know it's humans having fun and making art and all that kind of stuff, but, like, on the scale in which they do it. Anyway, so they're, that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing with it, with the funds, with the green energy tax credits. That's what they're doing. Um, so rest easy. Rest easy. Um, Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. All right. Phantomus, what you got for us? I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna take this call. How are you, Phantomus? How are you?
Yes, Travis, please tell us with your energy vampire occupation what we should do in the green world. Yes, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, it's so wild.
This is why I say what we need to do is just let the people keep talking, and eventually they're going to hit that brick wall where people say, "What the hell are you? What the hell are you doing? You're killing our planet."
I mean, yeah, but you're gonna have to explain to all the you know the people that watch the football and go to the concerts, and you know what I mean. What people don't want to hear too. People want to be upset about Taylor Swift and her jet plane. Apparently, she sold her plane. Did you all hear this?
I didn't hear that.
I don't know why we're talking about this daytime soap opera stuff, but it's relative to the story of we're talking about Taylor Swift and her jet plane travel and people being upset about it. Right? Because carbon, right? So she sold her jet because she sold her private jet because she doesn't want to look bad. So in a way, she quietly downsizes to one private jet. That is a hilarious headline. That is the best headline.
So Kev, what you're saying is they're not social justice warriors; they're cosplay social justice.
Exactly.
Oh
Wait,
my
this
God.
this headline is like the best thing. Taylor Swift quietly downsizes to one private jet.
Well,
Oh, the downsizing. Oh no.
well, this goes into the whole bigger, better, faster, stronger.
Yeah,
The Daft Punk song. Nobody wants to give up anything, and it continues on,
right.
and everyone else suffers for it. Um, the interesting thing about this is I was just listening to statistics, and they say that the 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 average homeowner, in terms of the black families, if you look back into the 1980s, they're conditioning people to think you need to live in a smaller space, and the space is getting smaller of all these black families. Meanwhile,
Uh-huh.
all of the privileged white 1% is telling us about the horrors and damages of the world, and they're ignoring so many things that are happening right before your eyes.
Right.
Um,
That's true. There's also have you heard the statistic? You're on the East Coast, right?
yeah,
There was a um it was like a census, financial census data for Massachusetts, and they found that like the median, it was like the median white family income was like, I don't know, it was like $180,000 or something like that, right? Median. And then the median black family income was literally $8. Like $8. That was the median income. I was like, what? I mean, how is that even possible? But like that's the financial disparity.
and and and,
You can't look at those numbers and go like, oh, well that, and explain that.
and I'll tell you another thing I never heard of that just crossed my mind when Sabby was on the air last night. She was talking about how she went to a regular business by this guy, Mr. Kim, and
Okay.
she asked him when he came here, like, wasn't it expensive for you to start her business? And he smiled and he said, I bring in my people all the time. He goes, because I don't have to pay taxes for 10 years.
Wow.
I want people to understand that. This is why. So if you think about it, Kev,
Yeah.
this is exactly why so many American businesses are having such a tough time, because this is what they do. They hand out those preferences, and there's no xenophobic traits here from me. I'm just telling you the reality. This
Right.
is why so many businesses can't get off the ground.
Yeah. No, I mean, and that is a reality. That's just, you can, and talk about it. Talk about
And
it. You know what I
and,
mean?
and
Like
you know,
that's, people are getting, yeah, tax breaks. People from other countries are getting tax breaks.
one last thing. I really do find it funny when you have people like the NFL athletes who and the NFL who wants to be social conscious and all of that, but they only do it to a certain extent. So that's the crazy part. Like, for example, when people were taking a knee in the
Yeah.
NFL, Travis Kelsey was first. Why don't you take a knee for the fucking prison complex?
Right.
It's so many people are incarcerated for so many so many wasteful drugs that they need to get all of those people out there and back to their families.
Yep. Yep.
And one last thing before I go, Kev, I'd like to talk to you offline if it's possible about your show, because I
Okay.
do believe that you can increase your audience 4 or 5 times with just some simple nuances. And I
Uh-huh.
think it's important we talk about this, especially where it concerns YouTube. You can avoid a lot of these algorithm issues, and I'd like to talk to you about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I'm interested in hearing about the algorithmic thing. I mean, yeah,
Okay, so maybe
I
we
know
could
I could
talk.
I could probably increase my audience by just having a really cool like opening trailer, right?
No, no, no. I'll give you one. I'll give you one, Kev. Right? Here's
All
one.
right.
Here's one. Okay. So community notes. This is for everybody who has a problem with channel. Go to community notes. You post a question. I want to. I say this because when you engage the audience like this, say, what books have you read lately on the climate? Okay.
Right.
Maybe it starts out with 5 responses. Maybe it starts out with 6 responses. But the thing is this: the more and more you engage in those stupid little things that they put up on YouTube,
Yeah.
it adds up to your traffic.
Yeah.
So Kev, that's just one thing again that's going to be a game changer for you in
Okay.
terms of your audience. So,
Okay.
well, maybe we can talk later about it.
Why don't you? Why don't you? I mean, you follow me on Twitter. Why don't you DM me or something on Twitter, and then we can.
All right, yeah. We'll do that.
We'll have a discussion.
All right, man. Later.
Sounds good. All right. Cool. Thanks, Fantomas. Appreciate you. All right, guys. Let's see. All right. Where are we? Anyways, so she downsized. She downsized to one personal jet. Up until recently, the singer had two personal jets, but she has faced backlash for her private jet usage in the past. She didn't want to seem like a bad person, so she got rid of one of her jets and got another, and only has one jet. Oh my God. The hardship. The absolute. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the humanity. Oh, the humanity. I'm just looking at the Rockfin chats. How are y'all doing? Oh, by the way, this is a really good time to let you know. It's a good time to let you know that we're not going to do anything about climate change. Probably not. No, if you want to support the show, well, I dropped the link for I'm doing a music project, so you can support that way. That's cool. But if you like this show coming to you for free every day on the interwebs, you can buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews. You can cash app me at Red Llama Music. You can Venmo me at Kevin Sandbloom. You can PayPal me at paypal.me Kevin Sandbloom, and you can sell me at kevinsandbloom at protonmail.com. I try to bring you this. What the hell? Programming every day. Everything's frozen. Sorry. Shit. Sorry, my PayPal froze. I mean PayPal. My what the heck is going on? StreamYard is being very weird. Okay, I'm back. I'm not. I mean, the thing is that it's not. I am absolutely being suppressed and censored. So, you can do all the trying to get more viewers. I just try not to. I try not to be too depressed about it, but I just try to put out a good show and have an interesting show for people to come and have an interesting place for people to come and hang out and talk about things. That's what I try to do. And then let the chips fall where they may. I try and do my best. Can I improve every day? All right. There's more to talk about. So much more. I know it started a little late, so I'll probably try and go a little later. Not too much later, though. Oh, thanks, Loey Appets. I appreciate it. Thank you. Well, I mean, we know that the people, their plans for trying to fix the climate are actually the kind of like opposite the opposite world of what needs to be done. Here's excuse me. Still trying to get over this thing that I have. I'm almost over it, but it probably doesn't sound like it. This is John Kirby, the White House. Do I believe in a deity? Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little wishy-washy on that one. You talking about do I believe in? I don't know that I believe in a deity. I believe in a energy. No, I don't know if I believe in the big man. I believe in energy. E equals MC squared, bro. This is properly extraordinary. The White House spokesperson John Kirby is literally saying the IDF is more mindful of civilian lives than the American military. The IDF, who have been killing an average of 170 women and children daily, every day for 4 straight months. A military currently accused of genocide at The Hague. This is the American government quite literally willing to sully the image of their own military, undoubtedly the most sacred institution of the country, and sacrifice it so that Israel can continue its carnage. This is... You want to hear this?
Made clear.
Hey, John, thanks. I just want to circle back to my colleague, I think it was Nadia, asked a few minutes ago about the civilian casualties, and you said Israel has been receptive to our concerns. And for months, we have heard people at that podium talk about the civilian death toll is too high. It was too high at 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. Around 28,000 people have been killed. What does the White House base the assessment that Israel is receptive to its concerns?
As I said, we have seen them take actions, sometimes actions that even I'm not sure our own military would take, in terms of informing civilian populations ahead of operations, where to go, where not to go. They have taken steps. Now, obviously, those steps, while noteworthy, haven't been enough to reduce the civilian casualties, which is why the president spoke so forthrightly about it yesterday, and why we're going to continue to do everything we can to press the Israelis to be more careful.
But respectfully, he's been talking forcefully about it for a long time.
Just be careful out there, guys.
Okay. Have hammered people into this tiny corner in southwest Gaza, tight up against the Egyptian border, where people think there's a looming catastrophe happening. Shouldn't there be more forceful action than just words?
We are working very, very closely with our Israeli counterparts. We've made clear our concerns that we would not support a Rafah operation that did not properly account for the more than 1 million refugees that are down in Rafah. We've been very, very clear and consistent about that.
So consistent. All right. Okay. Surely this will all end well. I'm positive. Oh, wait. What about what's already happened? What about what's already happened? In Turkey, torrential rainfall has inundated the city, causing widespread flooding, disrupting daily life. This is just, more, planet falling apart kind of stuff. They're trying. I see the people on Twitter trying with every extreme, weather event. It's like, well, they forgot to turn off the geoengineering, or they pressed the geoengineering button too hard, or something, whatever. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. I'm sure that's the reason for everything. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. And then there's flooding in Brazil. Wasn't this the place that set like a temperature record just a few months ago? Heavy rains caused large landslide on the highway in Rio do Sul of Santa Catarina, Brazil. Bam. There was a road, and now there ain't no mo. Ain't no road. Anyways, that's happening. Just trying to cover some of the many extreme weather events that are happening like literally every day. There's a new study about polar bears not being able to adapt to longer summers. This came out yesterday. More time on stranded on land means greater risk of starvation for polar bears, a new study indicates. During 3 summer weeks, 20 polar bears closely observed by scientists tried different strategies to maintain energy reserves, including resting, scavenging, and foraging. Yet nearly all of them lost weight rapidly, on average around 2.2 pounds per day. Some have speculated the polar bears might adapt to longer ice-free seasons due to climate warming by acting like their grizzly bear relatives and either rest or eat terrestrial food. The polar bears in this study tried versions of both strategies with little success. During 3 summer weeks, 20 polar bears closely observed by scientists tried different strategies to maintain energy reserves, including resting, scavenging, and foraging, yet nearly all of them lost weight rapidly. Some of I'm just rereading the same things over and over again. Polar bears are not grizzly bears and wearing white coats. White lab coats. They're very, very different. Usually larger than grizzly bears. Adult male polar bears can reach 10 feet in length and weigh 1,500 pounds. So they're much, much bigger, much larger. Excuse me. To maintain the great mass, polar bears rely on energy-rich fat of seals, which they best catch on the ice. So, basically with less ice, they are not going to. Tim Bob, maybe the Bears just started Ozempic. Maybe. Yeah, maybe they need to up their dose of Ozempic. All right. Did we read this about? I thought I was going to read this on Rockfin yesterday. But real quick, this is just a real quick blurb here about Captain Marshall. This is from Captain Dan Hanley. The case of Captain Philip Marshall, the late United Airlines B767 captain. Philip Marshall had published 2 books concerning the lies of 9/11 and was about to publish a 3rd book. He told his neighbors that he was being threatened. Shortly thereafter, his 2 teenage children and family dog were found shot to death in his family home, and Philip had also been shot in the head. Police ruled it a murder-suicide, i.e. Philip had murdered his 2 children and the family dog before committing suicide. Philip kept his book manuscript hidden in the house. It was missing. California Attorney General at the time never ordered a further criminal investigation into the matter. That Attorney General was Kamala Harris. That's interesting. Did y'all know about that one? I actually I read about that story. I did in the past. Damn it, you have that song, that Ozempic song in my head now. Damn you, Tim Bob. Damn you to hell. Let's see. What else is happening? I think that might be the long and the short of it today. I think I covered all the things. No? Oh, here's somebody from the Cradle. Nova Rave security chief confirms Israel neglected alerts of October 7th. This is from February 7th, 2024. The chief of security at the Nova Rave said he got a bunch of warnings the week before, that he tried to tell people about it, and they were like, "You're fine. You're good. No need to worry." So that's interesting, isn't it? It reminds me, I mean, kind of, speaking of 9/11, it kind of reminds me a little bit of, remember when people were like, we got a lot of warnings, but, we were like, everything's cool, we're fine. I think what we should do is a huge military exercise. Anyways, yeah. I think I said something about that, the old FF on Twitter. I think somebody disliked me for saying that. I was like, well, I don't know. If it walks like a duck. Jimmy Dore is being a huge idiot? In what way? Tell me how. What is he saying? Oh, yeah. Did we talk about that yesterday? The luxury homes on the edge of the cliff? Didn't we talk about it? I thought we did. I thought we talked about it yesterday. I'm not sure. I did say something about it on Twitter, though. Right? The people with the luxury homes on the cliff. What? Oh, he's an idiot for going to Rumble? Oh, yeah. Well, if you're up on game, right? If you got your ear to the ground, which I believe that Jimmy Dore is trying to keep his ear to the ground, and maybe in some ways he's not doing a great job of it. I'm not sure. If you're trying to keep your ear to the ground, they could just buy another one. Yeah, thank you. Jay Gibbons, you remember what I said. Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons why people think that climate change is a hoax, because rich people still buy houses next to the ocean. That's funny. That is a funny thing to say. Yeah, so, but the people, one of the owners of of Rumble is Peter Thiel, right? And people kind of have come around or are starting to come around to the idea that he's not a good player. He's not a good player in the world of high stakes elite espionage or whatever you want to call it, right? you know, in the world of future dystopian elite control or what. Peter Thiel is not a good guy, but but everybody's going to Rumble. Going to Rumble. We're going to Rumble. I think for the people that already have a huge following, millions of followers, and can get some of those green energy tax credit monies or whatever it is paying people with over at Rumble, right? Like Russell Brand has a big deal with them, and a couple of other people have big deals who are big deals, and they have big deals have gone over there. And so maybe Jimmy Dore has a big deal with them. I'm not sure. But, to be like, oh, Rumble is the best is kind of like, oh, Twitter is the best, right? We love Twitter now. Yeah, I mean, sure, that's cool. Is Twitter better than it used to be? Sure. Better than it used to be. Wow. Yeah. It sure is, but people have questions about the long-term outlook for Twitter and Rumble, right? And people do get censored on Twitter, and people do get censored on Rumble. They still do. All right, guys, I'm going to have to jump off now. And I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today and every day on the interwebs. Thank you so much. Mr. Dore gives angry dad vibes. It doesn't matter what he says. Angry dad vibes. I think that's I kind of like him for his angry dad vibes, but I'm glad he's not my dad. Let's just put it that way. I don't know. Yes, Jay Gibbons says, buy the guy a coffee. I think he means me. Yeah, if you're feeling it. If you're feeling it, did anybody buy me a coffee today yet? Don't know. Not yet, but we'll see. See how the day is young yet. All right, y'all. Thanks so much. Appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow at the regular time of 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until next time, peace.